I'm going to preface my video by saying if. These are if scenarios, okay? Erika Kirk has been on this mad tour publicizing this book for Charlie that she's selling, and she gave an interview that said, I don't need closure. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, that's so odd, because if you've had a loved one that's died of cancer, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people who have had a loved one that dies of cancer. And what a lot of them do is donate collectively hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, at this stage, probably billions of dollars towards cancer research, looking for a cure. And you don't look for a cure because you're satisfied with what happened. You don't have closure. It's impossible to have closure from a disease that shouldn't even exist. But hundreds of millions of dollars, billions, so many people can't get closure in their life because their loved one died of cancer. But Erika's husband gets executed on live television, blood spraying out of his neck, and within 2 weeks, she's forgiving the shooter. I mean, she gave him 33 hours, 33, right? I know it was like 36 or 37, but they said 33 hours, and they found the guy, and it's this kid, and she is dead set on it. This is the guy, and I'm going to forgive him. She don't need closure. She's giving that up to God. Come on, you're not better than us. First off, you're not better than us. Okay? You don't give it up to God. In fact, it's more realistic to believe that she's involved. If she's involved, you know what that person would do? They would forgive right away on a national platform where people would emotionally tie themselves to this experience. Oh my gosh, she forgave the killer. And you know what that does to, the half of the people that watch, probably? It says, it's over. We don't have to look. We don't have to wonder anymore. We don't have to ask any more questions because Erika forgave him. So now it makes us all look like we're crazy and nuts for asking questions still because the victim, Erika, forgave him. So we don't have to ask questions anymore. It is more believable that Erika Kirk is involved in this murder than it is to believe that this dude climbed up on a rooftop at a 9% slope. The bullet would have went right through Charlie's mouth in order to hit that C2 vertebrae and then ricochet downwards. It's more believable that she's responsible than for that to happen because the .30-06 caliber rifle would have blown his freaking head off. That's logic. That's science. It would have blown his head off. It's more realistic to believe that Erika Kirk is involved because when she shuts down everybody's curiosity because she forgave the killer, she says, why can't it just be simple? And the less questions we ask, the more she thinks to herself, we got away with it. And you see, the more questions we ask, the more questions Candace asks, the more research she does, unanswered questions, the more pissed off Erika gets. You know why? Because if Erika's responsible for what happened as a money grab, it's been happening for ages and ages. Money means more than life. If she's responsible for this, that's why she's getting angry at the accusations coming at her. The questions. The more questions we ask, the more likely we're going to find the truth out. And she wants it to simply go away. That's why, if she's responsible, she shut it down by forgiving. She refuses to ask questions. She doesn't need closure because if we ask more questions, she can't have her closure. And we might find out what the hell happened. I just have a hard time believing anything that comes out of this lady's mouth. You can tell a lot by a person's eyes, the countenance of their face. And the way she stares at the camera. I've been around, I've had loss myself. And when you're grieving the loss of somebody, it's not just a tissue wipe. Grief contorts your whole face. You wonder what could have been done differently. What if? Erika Kirk isn't asking anything. She doesn't want anybody to ask questions. Because the less the questions that are asked, the less answers. And they might just get away with it. If she's involved. I hope that kind of brings it around, helps people make a little bit more sense of it. And what's odd is this push by Israel. They're now paying people to post on social media $7,000 a post. And they're talking shit about Candace. They're going aggressive. And what's really odd about this is that people with normal common sense can't see the common sense questions. And I think the most important question of all, the discrepancy that either makes it true or false, is the FBI narrative that a .30-06 caliber bullet killed Charlie Kirk. And anyone with a brain and knowledge on guns and ammo knows that a .30-06 would have done far more damage than we saw. If this was an honest investigation, they would have dug up all of the dirt in that area and they would have found fragments of bullets, of the bullet that killed him. An expert, what do you call him? He was on one of these podcasts recently. A sniper. He'd killed hundreds of people. He said that was an exit wound. So if that's an exit wound, and he's an expert, and he's seen this time and time again, unlike the majority of the population, we've never seen something like that. He's an expert. He's done it himself. If that bullet came from the side, in the back of Charlie's hairline, you wouldn't even have seen the bullet go in. And it comes out his neck, and it embeds into the dirt in front of the stage area. If they had done an honest investigation and they dug up that dirt, they would have had the hole in the dirt. They could have put a dummy back on that chair. They would have had lasers to shine, forensic and ballistic experts, from the hole in the dirt to the hole in the neck, and they could have found where that shooter was at. We would know the caliber of the bullet. The autopsy's bullshit. We're not going to see the autopsy. They're not going to give that information out. The C2 vertebrae, it would have hit him right here. The .30-06 would have left nothing but his neck. And the tent behind him would have been splattered. This is a sensitive, rough topic. But again, the reason this is pressing on my mind is that she doesn't need closure. If you ever tried to cover anything up, of course, it makes sense she doesn't want closure. She doesn't want any more questions. Stop asking questions!